Go ahead, Deborah.
I found that when I
Push the button up.
I found it, excuse me, when I was working with the gentlemen, they were more hesitant to allow their weight to come in because I was a female. Would that be the same thing if you had someone, let's say, in your office, or they're not really aware of what's going on, so it's only in this setting that they're hesitant?
As a rule, if people don't know what's coming, they're going to be hesitant. So you have to give them reassurance. So I think it's less a question of the male-female thing. Some guys will feel more comfortable with women just because it's just more nurturing thing, like this gentleman here. Others might feel less comfortable for whatever reason, either personal, or it could be interpersonal. In other words, it could be that the particular person in question themselves doesn't feel comfortable, like is it Charles just mentioned, and hence there's a kind of a feedback dynamics, like I'm not sure what I'm doing, like she's not sure, so I'm not sure about her. Do you see how that works? So your job as a hypnotist is to put your anxieties to one side, and we'll build up to a hypnotic hypnotist state more over the course of the week. But your job is to put those anxieties to one side and then purely perform. Just be yourself, be this person that people can trust and be comfortable around and comfortable in. And at that point, most of the things go away. Because remember, they don't know what's coming, so they don't know how to respond. When human beings, when we get a shock or a surprise, what basically happens is your nervous system doesn't have a handy response for that event ready and queued up to go, right? Because you've not counted the situation. You know the old two-step, you're in the street and someone goes like this and someone goes that. Your body goes, oh, which way do I go now? What do I do? So when someone suddenly yells at you or jumps out at you or surprises you, you go, what do I do now? There's no program in there, if you like. So the next thing that happens is your mind becomes hyper-alert. Why? It's looking for danger. It's scanning around you. Now, at that point, if you sub-communicate insecurity and they're hyper-alert, they're looking for signs of danger, they're looking for signs of danger and you're providing them. Do you see why it might not work? And this is just a classic normal thing, whether you're doing conversation hypnosis, regular hypnosis, instant inductions. If you're surprising someone using any kind of shock or pattern interrupt or anything like that, they will become hyper-vigilant for a moment. They will externalize to see whether or not this is safe. And if you provide signals that suggest that it's not, then they will come up with the appropriate response, which is defense, right? Shields up, and it's like Star Trek. Shields up, Scotty, step back. Fight or flee. So typically it'll be flee, right? It'll be like, oh, I don't know what is going on here. I don't want this. Now, if on the other hand, whilst they're looking externally for signals of this is or what's going on, and your signals are just like you know, the Virgin Mary herself, like, welcome home, right? At that point, people go, oh, this is safe. And now a different set of rules applies. I'm meant to go with this. You go, that's right. That's exactly what you're meant to do. And when you have that attitude, this is what we call, by the way, may as well head there before tomorrow. If you look at your badges, everyone, you'll find one of these on there. H+. This is what we mean by H+. It's an intense desire to hypnotize someone, coupled with an intense desire to do something really beneficial, really positive. Hopefully, when you see me up here doing any demonstration, you've seen both. A sense of like, something's going to happen, and it's going to be good. And the reason I do that, and especially with shock inductions, but in general terms in any hypnosis, is because I know that if I don't do this, I might leak out a personal insecurity, and I have enough. I'm a normal human being. I might leak out doubt. I might have a stray thought about something that annoys me, and then I start projecting some kind of hostile subcommunication. Those aren't useful for hypnosis. I've got to put all my personal stuff to one side, and I've got to just be there for the person. I want to have an intense desire. You're going to go into hypnosis. And the reason I want you to go into hypnosis is because I want something really positive for you. I don't expect you to do anything particular. You can do whatever you want, but I want something really good for you. Do you see that kind of mental attitude? Hopefully you've seen it. Hopefully you've experienced it with other people here as well. That's the bit that makes it easy, and that's the bit that overcomes the whole, oh, I don't know if I feel comfortable about this. You're just totally like, I don't care about what's going on inside my head. I don't care about any insecurities or fears I have.
No, I felt that the males were more hesitant to allow me to bring them forward.
And it might have just been, here's a possibility, and I don't know if this is the case, but I suspect what may have happened is because you're a smaller lady, they might have thought, well, they might have thought, what if I fall over? What if you can't actually hold my weight? Right. So solution is sit down. You can do just as easily there, and then there's no qualms about that, right? The other solution, by the way, is work more quickly so they don't have a chance to think about it. But we're not there yet. So who had the next microphone? Has someone actually got a microphone already? Otherwise, Sophia?
Hello. Yeah, I was regarding the hyper state.
Mm-hmm.
In hypnosis, hyper state is where you actually in a state of hypnosis when you're
Mm-hmm.
hyper state. So what we do as a hypnotherapist, we're leading the clients as they go into that hyper state.
Exactly. Technically, there's kind of like a weird loop. This loops back into here. This is kind of like a circle. So when they spike up here, they're really spiking down here at the same time. It's kind of a two-dimensional representation of something more complex. So you're right. Hyper alert or hyper calm down, or like, what's the term? Soporific. Both of those have essentially the same effect in the mind. One is a kind of speed trance, which is more dynamic, more fast and punchy. The other one's a more traditional trance, which is like, oh, this is nice, this is good, like this, right? Both work. You don't have to have one or the other. And I think as a skilled hypnotist, we aim to be able to produce both and know when one's more appropriate to another one.